She begged him, pleading for release, blood on her lips inside the crucible of blood. He told her he couldn't, that he wouldn't lose her, his voice breaking under the weight of a promise he could not keep. This was the nightmare that returned every single night, the moment he ended the life of the only woman he had ever loved. She told him there was no other way, that this final act was necessary to end what had haunted them both for years. They had chased the Lord of Rot across kingdoms, losing friends and comrades at every turn, each death another weight settling onto his chest. Now, only the two of them remained, and even that would not last the night. She had one last trick up her sleeve, a rope prepared in secret while he slept, offering her own body as a vessel to trap the Lord of Rot's spirit within her flesh. It was the only way to give him a physical form again, a shape that could finally be destroyed for good. She had known this all along and never told him, not once. Bound together since childhood by a single oath sworn beneath the stars of Crafton, she believed until her last breath that love was strong enough to end even a curse this old. And so he did it. He raised his blade and brought it down, ending her life and the lich's reign in a single strike. The woman he had loved since childhood, the girl who once dreamed with him beneath the stars of Crafton, was gone in an instant that he would relive every single night for the rest of his life. Markus woke the same way he always did, drenched in sweat, his throat raw from screaming a name that could no longer answer him. 50 years had passed since that day in the crucible of blood, and still the nightmare found him every single time he closed his eyes. The amber morning light offered no comfort at all. For a full season, he had left his fields untouched, punishing himself with empty soil and silence. He had once been the picture of unshakable strength, a man others looked up to, but grief had hollowed him out from the inside. The morning air smelled of damp earth and wood smoke. The kind of stillness that used to feel peaceful before grief made silence unbearable. Today, finally, it was time to plan again. His hands trembled around the handle of the pitchfork. It felt too much like the grip of a sword, familiar in a way that made his stomach turn. As he aerated the cold ground, his mind began to drift, the edges of the farmland blurring into fog. And slowly, the darkness crept back in to claim him. It always found him, no matter how far he ran, no matter how many seasons passed. In the back of his mind lived a quiet, aching question. How many people had taken up the sword because of him, only to die for a cause he could no longer carry? He watched her body decay before his eyes, again and again, her wails echoing with the voices of every friend and ally they had lost along the way. Behind her loomed the skeletal shape of the Lord of Rot, wrapped in exotic cloth, his form seeming to drink in the very air around him, spreading maladies with every breath, a shadow that no blade alone could ever hope to defeat. Someone was calling his name, pulling him back from the depths of the vision, over and over until the fog began to lift. He collapsed into the dirt, sobbing, gasping for air, his heart pounding with a dread that flooded through him head to toe, her name torn from his throat like a wound that would never fully close. His neighbor Rosalind found him there, an elderly woman the whole community had come to trust, though trust had not come easily. Long white hair framed a face marked by decades of hardship, and though the region once hunted her as a witch, this quiet community had long since learned who she truly was. She had fled persecution long ago and found quiet refuge in these farmlands, and now, more than anyone, she understood pain that ran too deep for words. She asked softly if he could hear her, told him gently that he had been screaming like a banshee in the fields. For the first time in 50 long years, someone was finally asking Markus if he was all right, and for the first time, he did not know how to answer.